Hello everyone, welcome to Edge Time. This is the disassembly for the Spartan Astor, or Astor. I'm not really sure how it's supposed to be pronounced, but here it is. This is a really good, fairly inexpensive folding knife. This one goes for around $108, which is what I got it for at the Smoky Mountain Knife Works. If you're interested, go check out my full review of this knife. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, as you all know, I like to start with the pocket clip here. This knife is very easy to disassemble and reassemble, very easy to maintain. All these body screws are Torx T6, and the pivot screw is T15. Apologize for my dog barking in the background. All these spacers are captive, so that is very nice. And all of these screws are the same size and length and everything, or at least the body screws. I think the clip screws are a different length, but as in like the clip screws are a different length from the body screws, not from each other. But yeah, but all four of these body screws are same length and everything, so you do not have to worry about getting them mixed up. And they have a little dab of blue Loctite on them, which is way better than the huge amounts of Loctite that a lot of knife manufacturers like to put on there just to make sure you never try to tinker with them. I do appreciate this. I mean, this knife is obviously meant to be taken apart and worked on, which is amazing. I appreciate that greatly. So let's go ahead and get this pivot screw out. Pivot screw is captive as well. Alright, this knife is very simple. We have one slab of G10 here. We have our single liner. Single full liner, that is. There we go. So here's a couple of our spacers. And then this is like sort of like a partial liner that goes in here, which is kind of nice. And then, so, y'all better be in for a shock here. This knife does have both Teflon and bronze washers, but it also has a bronze pivot inset sort of thing here. So basically, this thing is always riding on bronze, which is really sweet. Like all of the contact points between the blade and anything else, well, except for where it meets the stop pin, of course, and the lock bar, but like all of the pivot mechanism is bronze through and through. So super sweet. That makes this knife very smooth, and they also say that, or Spartan Blades says that they use like oil infused brass washers. Not sure exactly what that means. I'm not sure how you can incorporate oil into a metal, but I'll take them at their word. So yeah, we have both Teflon and bronze washers. Make things nice and smooth, and our nice big beefy stop pin, which is, I mean, that's just a big old hunk of steel, so that's great. Let's go ahead and grab an alcohol wipe here and just wipe down everything real fast. Not too concerned about it. This knife is, I haven't really used it all that much, so it's still mostly factory clean. This knife is in, of course, CTS XHP, which is a pretty cool steel. Haven't had any issues with it, at least in the very short time that I've owned this knife. Guess I could disassemble it one step further by removing the thumb studs, but I'm not concerned about doing that right now. Just get that cleaned out a little bit. Clean off the G10. I'm just trying to get most of the factory oil off of there so I can replace it with my very own 3-in-1 oil. I do not use the fancy knife pivot lube, at least yet. I'd like to maybe get a bottle eventually, but That's just not something that I feel like I need to spend the money on. I feel like 3-in-1 works just fine for now. Apologize if my voice is a bit rough. I had a lot of allergies today. Come on. That's the thing about Teflon washers. They're super thin and it's difficult to pick them up without putting a crease in them, which is very annoying. Alright. That should be good enough. I'm not too worried about this. This is a using knife. It's an expensive knife, but it's not super fancy, so I'm not going to feel bad about using it. I'm not going to abuse it. I don't really abuse knives because there's no need to. But alright, so let's get this thing put back together. So this one, it's not trivial to put back together, but it's not difficult. I mean, there are knives that are easier, but this one is not bad at all. So let's just make an oil sandwich here, as I like to do. Just a little bit of oil in between each layer here. So a little dab of oil. It's probably too much. Then a Teflon washer. Little dab of oil. And then a bronze washer. I know I could save time by just oiling it once the thing is put together. I just feel like this is a little more thorough. And it's rather satisfying. So this is how I do it. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the sandwich together before I forget, because I've been known to do that. There we go. Okay, that's not going anywhere, so let's go ahead and put our partial liner back in. When you're putting these captive spacers back in, they are captive on this side, but not on this side. So when you're putting them back in, you just want to make sure that the milled face is roughly pointing forward. It doesn't have to be super precise, just enough to where it'll make it easier on you to get the liner on there. So there we go. They're just sort of pointing generally in the forward direction. Now I went ahead and oiled that. So yeah, this is mostly it. Now I just need to put this on here, make sure that my pivot is facing in the correct direction. And this can be a little bit finicky to get it back together. It's not terrible. I've done much more difficult knives, but yeah, it's not terrible. One of the easiest knives to maintain and to disassemble and put back together. Well, as you all probably caught before I did, I actually put those washers on there wrong. It is actually supposed to be brass against the blade, which I messed up on this side, as I also tend to do. Okay, there we go. All better. I've gotten a little bit of oil on the inside of my handle there. I don't really care. It's okay. Rock this forward. And finick around with this, if that is a verb. There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now everything is back together. Go ahead and I'm just going to bring the blade out to lock here. Put this pivot screw back in. Maybe. all the body screws. Okay, so now those are all in there loose, and just going to go through, tighten them up across from one another. Okay, body screws are all tight. Now go ahead and put the clip back on, and I am right-handed, so it needs to go on this side. Those screws can be, or at least this screw closer to up here, can be a little bit finicky to get in there because it doesn't fit into this part of the hole. You have to sort of sneak it in back here and then push it forward, which, I mean, it's not difficult. It's just, don't panic if you can't seem to fit the screw in there. That's just the way the thing is built. Alright, a little bit of lint in there, doesn't really matter. Go ahead and put this nice little filler in here, which I really like. I don't know why, it just makes it feel more premium, I guess. Even though this is not necessarily a premium knife, it's a nice knife. It's made in Taiwan. This is G10 and XHP, so like it's nice. But I don't know if I would necessarily call it premium. Make sure that I put everything in there correctly. Yep, everything looks good. Make sure I didn't leave out any of those washers. Nope, everything looks just fine. Alright, so go ahead and get that pivot adjusted. It's like extremely tight because I tightened it down all the way. So I'll just back this out until it is comfortable. That's pretty decent, I think. Let's just work that back and forth a little bit. Nice lockup. Can't do a... This knife is not necessarily the best for the reverse flick, which I don't care. I mean, that's not why I buy knives. So, yeah, zero blade play right here. It's perfectly easy to open and close, so I think that's where I'll leave it. So yeah, so there is the disassembly and reassembly of the Spartan blades Astor, I think is how I'm going to pronounce that from now on. So yeah, pretty cool little knife, not little knife, pretty cool knife. So, if you enjoyed this video, please also check out my review of this knife, as well as all my other videos, mostly stuff like this, knife reviews, knife disassemblies, also do watches and flashlights from time to time. So, with that, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good day.